Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Huge, unquantifiable apologies, guys, for no upload yesterday. Things got in the way, as they have a tendency to do sometimes, but I'm going to reward you all for your patience with double dollops today. That means you're going to get 2 casts for the price of 1. And the first match that I'm going to cast today will be a classic 3-5-9-9 match between the one and only legend Salou and our current modern day hero Zock, and it's going to take place on Williamson's Bridge. So let's head on over to the game zone as these guys are gating in and see how these guys got on. Of course, Williamson's Bridge as a map needs little or no introduction. We've all seen it 100 trillion times. So let's take a look at the players and their locations. Down here at the bottom right, in the breast cancer awareness pink/purple corner, going his customary Cybran. We all wonder what he's doing now. Perhaps he's photocopying some important documents in the Russian embassy in Prague. Who knows? I don't know where it comes from. But all we know is he's not playing with us, and we lament that daily. It is the one and only Salou opening first land, couple of P-gens, all nice and standard. And he's playing against our current modern day hero Zock. He's been playing all that time. He's taken a few breaks now and then, but he's always come back to us in the green corner. Also going his customary Cybran, opening first land and second land as well. And of course going Cybran as well. Back in the day, for as far as I'm concerned, when I used to watch these replays with the pros, it always seemed that if it was a 10 or a 5k map or less, you were a fool if you didn't take Cybran as your race. He seemed to be slightly imbalanced in the short early game. And they still, don't get me wrong, they're still very strong in the early game, but I think it's a lot more even now, and that's why you see many of the other races used in whatever kind of map it is, unless it's a C map, and then everyone goes Seraphim because they're horribly overpowered and someone needs to do something immediately. Make it happen, somebody. That's just maybe that's just me, I don't know. But over here on the right hand side we have a forward mole from Salou. That's going to give him some nice intel. He's putting one down the middle as well, and the ACU has been diverted off to the left, grabbing a mech. He's going to put up a land factory a little bit further northwest of his main position, but we've got a Mantis coming in here now, looking for any potential engineers to grab, but he's going to run into an ACU, which is really going to spoil his day, and promptly gets zapped by the commander, who starts work on that bottom mech. He's going to do that first, I presume, and then go for that land factory. Meanwhile, over on the right hand side, Zock's advancing with another Mantis and a mole, but promptly runs into superior Mantis numbers from Salou. Will lose both of those units, so still no engineer pickups from Zock. All things very even on that front. Zock down 3 units to begin with. He's also got another Mantis and a mole. He's still determined to make some kind of entrance down here at the bottom left. Strolls past Salou's commander, who doesn't look like he's too bothered at the moment, and then he changes his mind. He's not going to finish that factory first. He's going to come down and help defend this mechs, which it's probably going to survive, to be honest. I don't think that Mantis is going to be able to take it down in time. Salou marching his commander down. He's going to be able to pin these 2 units up against these rocks. You can see him moving right a little bit there. There is no escape. These 2 are doomed, and in comes the ACU and snags them both. Bye-bye. But yet more units coming down the left-hand side from Zock. That Mex is sitting on tiny fraction underneath half health. And he seems pretty determined. Another Mantis down. Still in the yellow. Another Mantis coming in. Finally goes into the red, but 168 hit points are plenty, especially when there are no other units in the area. But we've got a nice early Jester out from Salou. He should be able to snag a few key units with that. It's over here on the left-hand side, working on a Mantis for the moment. He decides to head north into the base, but it's too late. The secret's out. There are Sky Slammers in the area, so he's going to be able to snag just 1 engineer before he's going to have to bug out. Now at least 4 Sky Slammers on the ground. He can't contend with that for long. Doesn't want to lose that, of course. They're very expensive. Meanwhile, up here at the top right, Zock is pushing right with some units. Might be able to bag this engineer if he's quick, but that Jester's headed south, and it's going to pick up this mass extractor. Nothing in the area that Zock can use to deal with it, and he's only just now started a air factory, so he can't go after it with interceptors for a little while. He's to rely on Sky Slammers to guard him. Interceptor flying overhead on the right hand side for Salou. taking a little bit of fire from the Sky Slammers. Of course, they really do stick to you like glue. It's very hard to evade those shots when you're flying overhead. But Zock very far forward indeed with his commander over on the right-hand side, snagging that mass point. So this is all Zock territory now for the moment. So Louis is looking like he's going to mirror that, pushing up the left-hand side with a bunch of Mantis. Going to grab this mass point on the left-hand side. I don't know if he's going to be able to manage to pick this up. Zock is now closing in with some of his own units to defend it. So Louis promptly ignores the mass point for the moment. He's going to focus in on those first two forward Mantis. And then he realizes that's not going to win any battles with the amount he's got. He's got a Medusa in the pack, but that's not going to help. Promptly loses that as well. So Zock now holding the territory up here and down here, but 3 Jesters out now for Salou. If you're wondering why he was thin on the ground, that is why, and only a couple of Sky Slammers in the mix to defend this group of units. He's going to lose most of them, I think, as well as this mass point, potentially reinforcing Sky Slammers that were protecting the base are now heading south to try and deal with those Jesters. Gets one of them out of the sky, but there's still still 2 operational down here. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, we've got units or Medusas from Zock harrying the fringes of Salou's base. 3 Jesters once again in the middle, so Salou really committing to a pretty hefty Jester play. Snags yet another mass point, picks up 3 guarding Mantis in the middle of the bridge. But there's quite a lot of units on the ground here for Zock up here on the upper side. Salou is going to try and engage with his commander to force those units back a little bit. Of course, we have to do this manually now if we want to check the ecos. We're looking at around 22 mass for Zock and 14 for Salou for the moment. So in terms of current eco, Zock seems to be ahead for the moment. That could be about to change though, as Salou grabs back some of the map control he's recently lost with this push from his ACU and this Mantis on this upper level. Needs to grab this ASAP though, cut out some of those resources that Zock's getting currently, more so than he is, and that should level things up slightly. Lots of Jesters on the field as well. Looking very nasty indeed. Some very confident play from Salou, but Zock going straight for what? He's going straight for T3. That's insane. He's already got T2 air. He's 75% done on T3. That could change this game around very significantly indeed. That's a very early air tech to T3. Of course, his problem is going to be bottlenecking on power. You can see he's paused all of these factories, so he's not producing more land units at the moment. He needs to make these count. So the longer this takes, the more this is going to play into Salou's hands. But he's not going to have a great deal of joy over here with these Jesters because there's far too many Sky Slammers in the mix. He knows that that's not a wise idea, so he backs out, doesn't want to lose those unnecessarily. Huge amount of mobility around the battlefield he'll be getting with those. And Salou cutting off this avenue attack with a PD, putting one T1 auto gun down. But of course, there's flanking Medusas in the area from Zock. Very nice indeed. Those EMP blasts, if he'd have focused on that point defense, he probably could have destroyed it. But unfortunately, they don't have support near him. He's withdrawing them. But again, doesn't want to unnecessarily engage with his Mantis, I don't think, because he's got that T3 air factory. It's already producing an ASF out of it. That must be slamming his power. He's just got enough in the tank to get that done. But oh my goodness me. It'll be interesting to see how that behaves. First one coming off the conveyor belt. He's flying overhead. That'll be the end of those Jesters. They don't have much of a hope of doing anything. Lots of Sky Slammers in the air as well, but there's a huge push of Mantis coming in from the bottom from Salou, who's broken the bottom section, and this is why it's such a risky plan on a map of this size to go T3 air that early. He's run out of ground units defending. You could ask, why isn't he pulling these ones back? If he pulls those back, he just yields even more map up the top to Salou, who will be able to see everything he's doing right now with this huge group of Mantis that are sitting in the middle of Zock's base. And he's going to lose certainly one T1 land factory. He's going after the power, which is what he really needs to do, considering he's trying to produce T3 air units. which is hard enough to do at this stage as it is, let alone if your opponent has destroyed your entire power grid. And of course, back in the day, you didn't have to have power storage to overcharge. It came as a matter of course. That is not the case anymore, but Zock taking that overcharge to the next level, swatting huge volumes of units with his ACU and that overcharge, and that has kept him in the game for the moment. But you got to wonder, what's he going to be able to do now? He's got a couple of ASFs in the sky which will dominate the air, but he's got nothing to shoot ground with. If he could get his hands on a whaler or something, he might be able to get something done. 12 minutes gone in this game. Very strange game indeed. This was incidentally sent in by Shepard, so thank you to him. Always pleased to have replays from you, Colonel. But another push happening on the right-hand side from Salou. Yet more units that Zock can't afford to lose going down. Salou now in a very commanding position indeed. That T3 air factory still producing nothing. He's got to get his power grid back online first. He's trying to get T1 P-Gens in play as quickly as possible. I think he's going to lose this land factory up here. If Salou decides to commit to it, he might just do a run by. Engineers coming off the conveyor belt and getting popped immediately as and when. Probably in the idea there is to go after some reclaim, try and jumpstart his economy a little bit, but he's completely unable to secure his borders at the moment. Zock taking all kinds of fire from another group of Mantis that's streaming in from Salou. Not as many units coming out of Salou's end as I would imagine. Sounds a little bit rude the way I phrase that, but you know what I mean. And surely Zock is in serious trouble now. Yet more Mantis still in the back going after recently produced P-Gens, but a couple of nicely placed turrets around the base will secure it for the moment. Doesn't look like Salou has any Medusas on the field. It is just Mantis for the Mo. Salou on an upgrade up here with his ACU. Take a look at that, what that's going to be in a moment. Whether that's his gun upgrade or a T2 engineering suite or whatever. Take a look as well at how Zock's doing on the power front. So he's still got that factory paused, and he's still got absolutely no energy when he's trying to produce stuff. Engineers are the order of the day for the land factories at the moment. He needs more build power to get his power grid back online. Serious problems, and yet more territory being ceded from Zock's camp. Another group of Mantis up here around the commander, snagging that mass point. This is not looking good at all. At least we know for the moment that he's safe from air attacks. That's the one thing that Zock doesn't have to worry about at the moment with those two patrolling ASFs. They vastly out-tech everything on the field, and decided to try and grab himself a little bit more breathing room. He's going on the offensive with his ACU, going to pick up a few wrecks because he's so unbelievably short of mass. Could do with maybe grabbing that mechs on the commander as well. It's probably not a bad idea, but if he's going after reclaim first, he wants instant mass rather than something he has to hold on to, which I can kind of understand because his ability to hold on to anything right now is severely compromised. And it was the gun upgrade. Look at the rate of fire coming off that ACU, who is just standing there going after stuff. He's got a lot of T1 P-Gens now, and we've actually got production resuming in that main base from Zock. How's he actually doing it? It's taking every ounce of power he's got. Salou going after that air factory in a big way, and that is actually a strap bomber he's producing. So he's trying to get something that can go air to ground in this very, very bizarre game indeed. Zock coming back in with his ACU, working on those Mantis primarily. Of course, he's at a disadvantage because Salou's ACU has that extra damage available to him on his commander. And 87% now on that strap bomber, still bottlenecking power hard, minus 400 odd net. Salou just using the extended range to the best of his ability, flanking around the side of Zock's base, taking out fringe structures, but 97% now on that strap bomber. And this could be crucial. What's Salou got to kill a strap bomber? Very little indeed. And now that he will have seen that taking off, I think Salou knows that the time is right. He needs to attack. He needs to kill Zock now, because surely the strap bomber is going to go straight after the commander. And there it goes, one bomb away, down to 8,300 hit points. Salou still aggressing, needs to take Zock out. A bottom group of Mantis coming from the bottom side of the bridge, going after Zock's commander. He's down to 9,700, but Salou is down to 5,000, gets a veterancy upgrade, very well needed indeed, up to 7,000, and then takes another bomb down to 4,000. It's going to be close. Zock still well into the green though. Salou trying to close down Zock as well, so at least he can grab a tie when the explosion goes off from his commander. That's got to be what he's thinking right now. He's got a few Medusas in there as well to even out the damage, but another bomb comes in from that strap bomber down to 1,800 hit points. Zock now though down into the red. He's got enough units on him, Salou. If he can maybe evade one of these strap bombs, he might do okay, but I don't think he's done it, and in he comes and down he goes, and Zock survives on 1,000 HP. What a bizarre game. That's absolutely crazy. I can't honestly say I was expecting that. I was so sure Salou had won it. Nicely sent in, Shep. I like that replay. More of those if you find them. I thought I'd seen most of the goodies that GameReplays.org had to offer, but apparently not. If you want to see these older replays, incidentally, guys, you can go to GameReplays.org. You will need the Supreme Commander replay manager or viewer. I forget what it's called. I did it a long time ago, so you'll have to do some research about how to get it working, because I can't remember. It was a little bit fiddly, if memory serves. But it is all there for posterity, and they have a bunch of other great games. Some of them I've already casted, so do feel free to check those out. Anyway, guys, more to come from me today, so stay tuned. But till then, as always, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle signing out.